Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about Social Security. Oh boy, I know everybody loves this, especially the self-employed people who feel the wrath of the 13%, well, 12.4, that you usually pay if you're in the lower income brackets. I just want to talk about a few things when it comes to this special little program. Let's start off with the origin of Social Security. Franklin D. Roosevelt was looking at Europe and he decided, boy, I really like those social programs. They're so pretty and nice. They work so well, and everybody over there is so happy. Well, those countries are a little bit different, right? They're not melting pots, they're much more homogenous. And take what you will from that, but it just doesn't work here. So, for whatever reason it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, it doesn't fucking work. But yet, here we are using it. He went to the Supreme Court, threatened to stack the court, and got them to capitulate on this idea. He went to the people who were just reeling off the back of the Great Depression, having not eaten well for probably 10 years, not been housed well for 10 years. Old people during that time probably died on a regular basis from things that today we would consider to be a tragedy, starvation, exposure to the elements, basic stuff. And of course, they said, let's go ahead and do a social program so that our elderly are taken care of, so that my future is secured. Right off the back of that horrible situation, which, who was that caused by? Who caused that situation to begin with? Because from what I learned in school, it was the people at the top playing games with the stock market. Everybody else got involved, things snowballed out of control. And now the whole program is failing. Let's look at the cost of this program to people, regular people. 12.4% is like saying, it's exactly the same as saying 12 out of every 12 pennies out of every dollar is going to the government. Now it's slightly more than that, 12.4%. And I'll let you know too, they want to increase this number. This program is projected to have massive issues. I don't know if it's insolvency, but it is a 25% cut that it's projected to have as output to its beneficiaries. So people on Social Security in the year 2035 are projected to get 25% less of what they should be getting. And they want to fix that by increasing this tax by 2%. Now you say 2%, it doesn't sound like a lot, but remember it's now 14.5% approximately is what this would be. And this is before state tax, sales tax, federal tax. It's before all these other taxes. This is massive. Now, you might be a person who works for a corporation or something, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to realize that they're paying that for you. It doesn't go away because you work for a corporation or something like that, for an employer, right? They pay that, and realistically, that should be going to you. Now, if they took this tax away, employers would absolutely just hang on to that, right? It's not like overnight they would just be like, hey, here's this extra, 12, 15 million percent that we were paying for you to the government on your behalf. Here you go. Here's a $3 an hour raise. No, of course not, right? But that would be the theory. And then at least it wouldn't be going to the government. It would be staying in the corporation, and maybe at least in some small way they could improve their situation, which would be good for you. But this program wastes your money. So now I want to talk about the actual reality, the present day reality of what this program actually is doing. First of all, the recipients of this program are currently receiving, on average, 50% of a livable wage. 50% of a livable wage. The goal was 100 or more percent. What is going on? People are getting to their older age, and if they don't have savings, they're having to do all kinds of work. That was never the point. So right there, it's failing. Then we go back to our previous point that I was talking about, where by 2035, they say that this thing will be reduced even further. That's 10 years away. I don't know about you, but by the time they add in another provision that says you can only get this by the age 75, you can start receiving these benefits. That's like 40, 45 years away from me. So in 10 years, we're having these massive problems on top of an already failing situation. Why would I ever believe that this is actually going to be around, that this is something I can actually use when I'm older? This is going to be a situation that most likely is like right now would be receiving like $10 every month from the government. And it's just like this goofy little bureaucratic input every month into my bank account that everybody just kind of jokes about. Because technically, a long time ago, this was a thing that worked and it just never really went away. But now it slides down to the point where uh, at that point in time, it will have the present evaluation of $10. That's where I see it going. So why would I want to pay in 12.4% of my overall income, and maybe even more than that, 15% is probably where they're going, to a program that is never going to benefit me in any meaningful way? That is just straight up theft. I don't know about you, but to me, that's just theft. That's just like me taking 15 out of every $100 that I have and throwing it in a fire. Let's talk about some of the issues with the program too, as far as scams. You have people on SSDI because, yes, disability, people who receive disability money get it from this program. And how much fraud do you think goes on in this program? Do you think they have a very good system for weeding these people out, for filtering out the fraudsters? I don't think so. And we recently learned that there's a lot of foreign actors simply calling up the office and pretending to be other people and getting these people's checks, which isn't adding to the net negative in terms of more money being taken from us, but it's not going to where it should be. It's an incompetence factor here. It's showing that there's a level of incompetence when it comes to fraud and detecting it and dealing with it, really. Because it's so widespread at this point, it's obvious they don't deal with it. Even if they do detect it, they don't deal with it, which they should be. I mean, look at the executive branch. How many people work? It's like a percentage of the US population. It's like somewhere between 1 and 4%. That's law enforcement. They're supposed to go after people like that, and they're not. And I'll be talking about in future videos all kinds of other criminals and scumbags that the government doesn't go after, either because they're a part of it or because they're just incompetent. So anyway, back to the Social Security thing. I want to talk about what at all, if anything, can we do about this situation? Because I know it seems kind of like it's a rule, it's there, and all these people have been promised this money. So what do we do about this? Well, I think the only thing to do is to look at the people who are paying in and the people who are receiving, and you say to the people that are receiving, you're going to have to take less. I know it's already 50% of a livable wage, but you're going to have to find a way to make it work. And then on the end of the people that are actually paying into this program, maybe we say, okay, why don't we just take it right to 15%? Given that the government is going to start actually increasing the fund, the balance in the fund of Social Security for the future, and growing that and investing it responsibly, we'll pay in 15%, they'll take even less, and we can reverse this thing. Because when it comes to most of these problems that we're having, I feel like first of all, it's all centered around debt, but there's the creditors and then there's the debtors. Both of them need to compromise so that we can actually make progress towards paying off these debts. Because these interest rates are getting out of control. Like look what's going on with our federal, our national debt. I mean, holy crap! How are we ever going to get that down? We need to start making compromises. We need to have that discussion. We need to work these angles. We need to slowly deleverage the system, which means slowly bring it out of the debt zone, bring it out of the red, and that requires, unfortunately, compromise, which is very uncomfortable, and that is the job of the government, right? I could sit here all day and think of solutions, but it's up to them with all of their knowledge and all of their data that they're always collecting, because you know they're collecting tons of data on us all the time, to come up with reasonable solutions. But they just don't do it. It's hard. I think it's because it's hard work to get this done, and you're going to make people unhappy. But what other solution do you have? Because you look at this is literally just a train speeding and picking up speed towards a brick wall that is like a mile long. This is going to be an absolute catastrophe, and somebody is going to lose here. Whether it's the recipients of this program in the future, or in the near future, or now, or us, people paying in to this system in the future, or now, or whatever. Whatever the time scale is, somebody's losing big. Somebody's losing big time. Can you imagine paying in that kind of a percentage over the course of 40 years and being told that you're going to be sustained throughout your elder years by a program, and then just be told, sorry, and they throw their hands up? Can you imagine that? I would be inconsolable, man. I would be so pissed. And people will be. So we need to push against this increase. At some point in the future, I guarantee you, they're going to come and say, hey, that 2% needs to happen. And it's going to be up to us, the people who are in the labor force, to say no and vote against it and tell these people, we're not voting for you again on this issue alone. And I'm going to make more videos, and there's going to be a lot of issues like this. And frankly, I think that means we just need to find new people. These people don't give a rat's ass about us. They just don't. It is so clear. It's coming from both sides. It's that sphere at the top, and I'm going to make videos about that too. I don't like either side of the aisle. They're scum, and I can see it so clearly. Other than pushing back against the 2%, help fix this issue, try to make more money under the table, and you know, I'll let that mean to you whatever it means. But that's about all I have for this rant. The program's an absolute joke. It needs to go away. It's funny because it's such a quintessential issue. You look at it and you generalize the flaws that it has. And if you look at that and you generalize it to the point where you're looking at the whole of government, you basically have all the problems. It's a refusal to do the hard work to get things under control. It's the desire to just increase taxation and spending. And it's the incompetence to detect and solve issues like fraud and scams. So yeah, anyway, before I go, I'll just leave you with one talking point, right? You want to take one thing away from this? Take away this. Social Security is now contributing to the problem that it was first created to solve. It is now making it harder than ever by taking 12, maybe soon 15% of the money that you make as income every year, which is all your money, and just wasting it. So have fun saving for retirement. Have fun collecting your whatever it is, 10% of a livable wage by the time you retire. Anyway, see you guys.